Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to a little impromptu midday film room session, whatever you want to call this thing. I don't have a name for it. I was looking at this play. I posted a clip of this on Twitter and I was writing about it and I got really excited. So I wanted to walk through it here just to kind of give a little more context, kind of, a little more details as far as why I am excited about this play. So we are going to look at it here. And so what's going to happen? We'll set it up. It's basically going to be Tunyon here is going to kind of leak across and catch it. 23 yard gain. Yeah. Excuse me. 23 yard gain. And we're going to show kind of how they get there. So so first thing we're going to do is just run through it. So you'll see Tunyon on the edge, a little step, some motion, some jet motion. Here comes Tunyon coming across. Rogers finds him in space. All right. How did he get open, and why am I so excited about this? All right, so this is kind of one of the core concepts the Packers used, and they've been using it since the floor got there. So since 2019, it's an old North Dakota State. I say old; it's not that old. North Dakota State concept that really came on the scene. I think the Chiefs were the first team to really kind of adopt this. It's called all-go running back seam, and the way the Packers traditionally would run this would be you take the guy from the inside, kind of have him bend inside. In this case, what they're going to use is the motion man. They used to have another guy out there and they'd run this, but you'd have this guy run an outside route. And you have this guy, that running back, run up the seam. All go. They are all going running back seam. He's carrying up the seam. So this was a big play. There was, if you remember, like the Aaron Jones touchdown from the 2019 Raiders game, which I'm sure you do because why wouldn't you? That's one of them. That's one of the big ones. But this was really big in 2019. And then as defenses, what they started to do, defenses started kind of like umbrellaing this, and so kind of took away some of the big plays off of this. And so you kind of see these guys dropping back, and then now you've got, you're flooding the zone, and so you've got that, and then this. But you're taking that away because they're sitting over the top of that. You've got especially with the rise of this too high stuff, that too high guy can kind of drop over, and now he's taking away all of that. So that's kind of so what we've seen. The Packers still had success with this. I had the numbers pulled up. I don't have them in front of me. Last year, I think the Packers averaged 8 yards an attempt on this, which sounds good, but generally that came off of kind of a backside concept, usually a backside slant. And what they would do was Adams as the ISO man, so you knew he could win over there. So they'd set him out, say out here, they'd set him out wide. You'd run this concept. Oh no, they're all over here. Well, then Adams is winning inside. So that's kind of how they were running it. So that's where a lot of the yards came off of last year. This year, and so what we're seeing, and this wasn't the most exciting game for Packers fans, but what we're seeing is kind of a twist on that. And usually what they would do is it's a different way to get to it. What they would do, again, they'd usually have a couple guys stationed over. So you'd have that, and then when you run that jet motion, he would release in the flat. So he'd be your flat control. So you've got four receivers over here. You got inside, outside, seam, flat control. And they've run something that looks a lot like this in the past, where you'd use the jet man as the outside. But what they're doing instead, so we're gonna speed it up a little. All right, so here we go, and we've got the action here. So we've got bang, bang, and then you've got with how the defense responds to that is dropping back and putting an umbrella over that. So what the Packers seem like, well, what they're working on here, then what they're doing, and we'll look at the backside. And this is the clip I posted. Is they're kind of then carving out this space for Tunyon. So instead of releasing a back up there, they're tying up here, they're clearing that out, and then they're releasing a drag underneath. That's how they get to that drag. That's really exciting. So you've got that. He catches it. He rumbles up the field. Gain of 23 on 1st and 10. Really nice. Okay, so this is the backside, and this is what I just posted this clip, and I wanted to go through it. So what we have is the Packers had always been, under the floor, a wide zone, inside zone rushing team. That Shanahan tree, blah, 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 blah. Last year, we started seeing some more of the varied run look, some of the power stuff, pulling guard, stuff like that. It seems like they're doing more of that this year. I certainly saw more of it in this game than I saw in most of the games that they ran last year. So what they're going to do, this is Dylan, again, on that inside, or not inside zone, sorry, the all-go, he would be cutting up the seam there. Instead, what they're going to do is they're selling the run. They're going to sell the run hard here. So what they're going to do is you've got everyone kind of pushing down that way, including Big Bobby Tunyon, who looks like he's blocking down. You pull Hanson around, and then you bring Dylan across the face here. And so what it looks like you're doing is it looks like you are walling off this and then bringing Hansen around to kick out, and then you're getting Dylan to run that side. So it's a power run with a pulling guard, and you're trying to pull him through that hole. So that's what it looks like. And it's one of the not misconceptions, but a lot of play action stuff you think is, when he's putting the ball in the belly of the running back, that sells the play action. Really for the front, the front seven, front, six, really, what you're reading, and you got the safety back here as well. You have different keys. I'm not going to get into all the different keys, but you're less reading. A lot of these guys are less reading because they're so close to the line. You're not really reading the quarterback. You're reading the releases. You're looking at what the offensive line does. So you got to sell that run. So again, you're going to all block down, block down, block down, block down, block down, pull, run across the face. So you're trying to look like a power run out of shotgun with a pulling guard and everyone blocking down, wall off, kick out. And so you're going to see these linebackers here trigger off of that. You're trying to get them triggered, moving them that way. You're trying to move them out of the way and then float Tunyon behind it. You can see how this works. So we'll see it from here. We're going to watch Hansen as the pulling guard. See, they shift over with the motion, pulling guard. All right, so that's all of this up front, man. All of that walled off, all of this, and it looks like he's going to block Kendricks there, and he doesn't. All of this looks like power run. And so linebackers trigger on that. You can see the boundary defender triggering on that. He's in the hole there. They're going to take away that run. So everything looks like a run on this. You can see even the ball right here. He's got the ball in the belly. Roger's always done a good job of play action. He sells that, and then he pulls that. And by the time, you can see 58 here. By the time he realizes what's happening, Tunyon's already by. So really, really nice. Again, this is it's a take on a core concept of the Packers that all go running back seam, all go halfback seam, whatever you want to call it. But they're dressing it up and they're taking advantage of the space. And so they tie it to a power run, which again, they couldn't have done 2 years ago because they were not a power running team. They didn't have a whole lot of these looks. You're tying it to a power run. You're tying up the linebackers. And as me and Peter Bukowski were talking about on Twitter a little bit, this is what you do for a leak is that typically is off a play action bootleg concept, but you're looking to kind of, sell that bootleg action, pull up on a half boot. And then this guy who looks like he's blocking down leaks out the other side. It's the same general idea, except what you're doing, you're tying it to a power run and you're putting it into a concept that is, again, and we'll run it all the way back to the beginning, run it to a concept that the way defenses have played this is to put an umbrella over. So this side's cleared out. You're tying it to a concept where it clears out. And then beyond that, you're having your offense give a look that it's going to be a power run. So you're tying up the front six in this case, with this power run. You're getting them a trigger on that. The motion out here that you're using, and that's from there, is triggering these guys to fall back into umbrella thing, which causes a lot of space here. And so football's all about creating space, creating your pockets, you're creating your angles. This is what you're doing. Tie up the front with the power run, tie up the boundary with a concept that they've seen that triggers them to get deep. And then you've got a nice little bit of space that you can operate under. And it's just a really, really nice, beautiful, elegant way of tying a few of their core concepts together in order to take advantage of a space and create an explosive play out of a concept that had kind of been somewhat limited for them. So thanks for this. I'll be back a little later today and probably a few other videos along the way. Who knows? But this one I got really excited about, so I just wanted to go ahead and get into that right now. So I hope you enjoy this, and I will talk to you later.